Lawrence Tech. Join in on the high school football talk. Call us at 248-539-9797 and watch the live stream on the State Champs Network Facebook page. Once again, here are your hosts, Lauren Plant, Tom Murkowski, Kevin Moore, and Lauren Jubara.
And remember, you can check this show out live on Facebook. In fact, we got a very special guest in studio right now, so you can check out that conversation at the State Champs Network Facebook page. I believe it's being shared through the 97.1 Facebook page as well, so check it out. It's a web show as well as a radio show. And we've got some kind of special things that we do on the website of things. You get to see some highlights. In fact, as we talk to Coach Bellamy, you'll see a B-roll package of some highlights because their victory that they had last night will be on State Champs Extra Point at 10 a.m. on WXYZ Channel 7, so you'll be able to check out the highlights of that. I do want to know that did we get a winner to the trivia question? Gentlemen, no. So the trivia question is still out there. I'm going to give it to you one more time. You get a couple of free Hungry Howie's pizzas.
Give them a condensed version, and then I'll give them I'll give them another clue.
Okay, all right. So here we go, real quick. Tom Murkowski, he worked for the news for years, long time, and he came up with the news blue chip list. He's been doing it for, again, over 35 years, and that's the state's top football recruits. We call them the blue chips. You've heard of that. There was a movie called The Blue Chips, right? Oh, yeah. But the number one blue chip was always the big one every year. Who was that going to be? The first one was in 1978. It was a lineman, and
I'll give you some more clues here. Came out of Detroit Southwestern, and then went on to UCLA.
Oh, there you go.
Hopefully that will maybe ring a bell with some.
And we have live in studio with us Ron Bellamy, the head coach at West Bloomfield. Do you know the answer to that? Don't give it out, but do you know the answer, you think?
No.
Okay. 1970 is a little before your time, right?
I was not born yet.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Oh, my goodness. I feel real old now.
I got to tear up my driver's license. It's just so depressing.
It's very, very true. Of course, he was a former Michigan Wolverine, and now, of course, leading West Bloomfield, and just really turned that whole program around there. I think it's great, and the OAA is better for it. And, again, you guys had a big game last night, and you guys were able to pull it out. Talk about it.
Yeah, exciting game. What's funny about the game is our offensive coordinator, we were talking yesterday, and he's like, man, Wednesday actually, he said, we haven't had an overtime game here in a long time.
You said this before the game?
He said this before the game.
Right.
And sure enough, we have our first overtime game in a long time. But it was an exciting game, first game.
Taking on Groves.
Yeah, taking on Groves, a team that finished 10-1 last year.
Right, Harrison in the playoffs.
They beat Harrison 10-0 in the playoffs, and they played Wally Western tough. So we were very familiar with them, and we actually got a chance to see them in our passing league, 7-on-7, and we knew they had some good athletes, some good players. A Coach Flaherty-type team is always a tough, well-coached football team. And
that's another program that's gotten better over the years.
Oh, absolutely. They've made the playoffs the last 4 years, and they returned 14 starters. And compared to us, we lost 29 seniors last year, and we knew it was going to be a fountain of youth for us, and we relied heavily on our seniors, and they answered the call last night.
Yeah, you went to Florida and found that fountain of youth, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well, thanks for coming on, Ron. And,
we appreciate it.
This is a kick when we get people in the studio. What was the challenges coming into season? You had Tristan Jackson, who to me was one of the most phenomenal athletes I've seen in the last half dozen years.
Phenomenal.
And he's such a game breaker. Did you have to change things up because he was such a dynamic player, or did you just kind of go back to basics and start slow?
Well, for us, we only returned 3 starters on our offense, and 2 of those starters, Davion Johnson and Garrett Wynn, I think are 2 of the better athletes in the state of Michigan. So, we relied on those guys a lot. And, our new quarterback is Bryce Veasley, Jr., who played lights out last night. He threw for 327 yards and 4 touchdowns last night.
Wow,
that's awesome. Start for us.
What a game.
Yeah, so he amazing football player. But we didn't change much. The thing that hurt us was we lost 4 of our 5 starters on offensive line last year were seniors. And now it's brand new guys. And some of the pieces, guys never played on offensive line before. So we just went with that. And you could see some of the youth up front. And I thought that our skill position guys stepped up last night and they made some big plays for us.
Yeah, you had a battle at quarterback too, right? Veasley kind of won it in the spring. In the workouts.
Yeah. Sean Gilliam and Bryce Veasley. Sean was our starting quarterback in JV last year, and Both guys had a really good camp, and as a coaching staff, we thought that Bryce gave us the best chance to to put the best team out there. So we went with Bryce, and he stepped up and played lights out last night.
6'3", 225.
He's a big boy.
He could play linebacker.
Oh yeah, he's a big boy.
We've got Ron Bellamy, the head coach at West Bloomfield, in with us right now in studio. You can watch it on Facebook Live right now.
Yeah, Ron, Kevin Moore. Sorry, I'm gonna have to apologize first off. I'm a Spartan.
It's okay.
In heart.
We all make mistakes at times.
Oh, here we go.
Throwing
shots there. Right? Yeah. What you gonna say
I
about
didn't condone that? I tried to get him to go to Michigan. I'm happy for Tristan though.
Yeah.
It was weird. Now we have 3 football players from West Bloomfield in the Big Ten now. So I'm just like, man, and well, actually 4 now. We had a kid, Tony K. He walked on, preferred walk on to Michigan.
Okay.
So we have 2 Purdue, 1 Michigan State now, and we have a Michigan. So, I'll make sure I'm cheering for that Michigan guy a little louder than I am the other ones.
Yeah. But all jokes aside, I just looking at your guys' schedule, you guys are definitely in one of the competitive conferences, and now looking at your next game versus Oxford, who had a surprise upset over Romeo. I just want to get your thoughts on how did you were you surprised when you found out Oxford took care of Romeo?
No, because I know about Bud Ball. Bud Riley. If you know anything about Bud Riley, you know what they're going to do. They're going to pound the rock.
Yep.
And I think a little bit of what happened to us last night. I following the game, state champs, and I saw that Romeo had a lead in the fourth quarter. It kind of dwindled down, and kind of like us last night, you became a little stagnant. And Oxford, they showed their grit and they fought back and made some plays, got a couple stops, and were able to win the game.
Did they play it on the blue turf tonight? Or?
They played on the blue turf.
That's a funny place. That's a great setting, actually.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. OA Red is one of the toughest. There's no question about it. And it's getting better, and now you've got Lancey over at Stony Creek, so he's going to coach them up.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so that's going to get better. I want to ask you, how much are you enjoying this coach in high school?
I love it.
You've kind of seen the big time, and you probably had other opportunities, but here you are, and you do seem really comfortable with it.
Yeah, I love it. It was growing pains early on, and when I got my first head coaching job, I was 27 years old. Didn't have a clue, so we figured things out. We have a great support staff at the high school, our administrators, our teachers, our coaches, our student population, our community. It's great, and everyone kind of stuck with us, and now we're seeing the rewards of everyone, staying together, and, the boys have bought into it, and it's fun. It's a great environment at our high school.
Was it frustrating at time when you first started out and things weren't, how should I say, going exactly the way you planned?
It was frustrating, but, we stayed with the script. We knew you had to do things the right way. We say trim the fat, the kids bought into it. The coaches bought into it, and, it's been a blessing for us.
How much did it help to play at Michigan and then transferring over to the high school level?
A lot. I think
the coaches that you were, with.
I think, being from Louisiana and having a high school football coach that's a legendary guy in Louisiana, and having Lloyd Carr and, getting an opportunity to play in the NFL, I think all those things, it means something to the kids. It has some substance. Those kids, they look up to it. Every kid wants to play Division I football. And honestly, I'm honestly brutal with our kids. I am. You're not doing what you need to do in the classroom. Your work ethic isn't up to par. You may not be talented enough to play Division I. And the kids, they listen to that and they buy into it. And like I said, it's paid huge rewards for us because they want to reach that level.
We talked
Great to hear those words.
And before we let you go, we talked with Cody White, who actually played 4 sports last year. You were a multi-sport athlete in high school. How important do you think that is? I know I was, and it just seems like more and more they're shying away from it.
Specialization.
Yep. Yeah, I once football's over with, I don't want to see my kids. I honestly don't. I'd rather them go play basketball. I'd rather them wrestle. In the spring, I want them to run track. I want them to play baseball. I want them to play lacrosse. We offer a ton of sports at our high school.
That's right.
The specialization of athletes now is I don't get it. I don't recommend it. I don't want to see a 15, 16-year-old kid in the weight room. It's not a college program. Their bodies are beat up. I do think playing multiple sports, it has a lot of rewards, with character, athleticism, different things. Socially, yeah, absolutely. So I do believe that playing multiple sports enhances your athletic abilities. I think it's more discipline, and I think, quite frankly, it's a great opportunity for the kids to come in better shape when they go to their primary sports.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Before we let you go, Michigan, this season, you got to give us your comments. Starting up. It's coming up.
Hey, man, it's
A lot of expectations.
Huge expectations. It's for
Crazy.
now. I mean, the expectation is championship or bust, and I'm not talking about. And obviously, you got to
Throwing
crawl
it
before
out
you
there.
walk. Last time Michigan's won a Big Ten championship was 2004. So,
Gosh, that's a long time.
that's a long
I don't think Kevin was born yet.
I was in 4th grade. Then. I
didn't realize
a
it
little
was
boy.
that long.
Oh yeah, 2004 is the last time Michigan won a Big Ten championship.
Wow.
So, it's one of those things where it's
The time is now?
The time is now. I think we got the right guy. I love Coach Rod. I love Coach Hoke, but I think Coach Harbaugh, he's special. He's a special one.
All right.
He's unique.
Yeah, he is.
No doubt about it. Well, Coach, good luck. The OAA Red begins next week. I know the boys will be fired up for it, and we'll probably have a crew out there shooting that game. So you can watch the highlights of the overtime win for West Bloomfield over Birmingham Groves tomorrow on State Champs Extra Point, 10 a.m. on WXYZ Channel 7. Coach Bellamy, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Great to have you, Ron.
All right. Did anybody get the trivia question right? Somebody did. All right. So we'll make sure that we tell it. And since somebody did win it, we will give the answer real quick. The question was, who was the first #1 blue chip prospect in 1978?
By the Detroit News.
That's right. Exactly. Thank you for the music there. I appreciate that, my brother. Go ahead and give the answer, Tom.
Lewis Sharp out of Detroit Southwestern. Went on to UCLA, played like 16 years for the St. Louis Cardinals. Phenomenal.
Offensive tackle.
He was all pro. He was what an athlete, just tremendous that you can last that long in the NFL,
All right, remember, you can get all the scores tonight at SC Scores. Just go to that on Twitter, and you can get all the scores. On State Champs Network, we have a scoreboard page that you can, statechampsnetwork.com, that you can get all the scores from tonight's game. We're going to get you caught up with more scores. We're just up against it. We're going to get that coming up right after the break. Also, we are going to have our man who talks about the west side of the state. In fact, we were talking about that crazy Rockford situation, but there are also some other big games. In fact, some local teams that are playing some teams out from the west side. So Ryan Terpstra will be joining us next. This is the SC Scoreboard on 97.1 The Ticket.